Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of A Chapter a Day Keeps the Doctor Away. My name is Alan, otherwise known as C-Suite, and I'm from ReverseThemes.com as well as the Speakeasy podcast. And this time we're looking at Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, Chapter 100! And it is known as Really Pissed Off. And before I say anything else, I'd like to say, celebrate good times. Come on, let's celebrate. Have a good time as we read Yamada-kun Chapter 100. Although they did not get a color pages for their 100th chapter, they have been getting a lot of color pages recently, so I understand why this chapter didn't get any. But they did have Miyamura, Yamada, and Sarashi on the cover holding up a big star with the 100 on it, having, definitely recognizing that they have hit, a very significant milestone. But this is really pissed off. So it is not cool, awesome high fives for everybody. It is about Nene and her downward spiral. Or I should say Tsubasa and her downward spiral. Nene, on the other hand, she is stubborn like a Russian bear. And she will not let things go. So we see her, and she confronts Tsubasa, thinking that, her risk-free power is definitely corrupting her. She's, not knowing how to interact with people anymore, and she's just abusing her power more and more. What started off as generally, understandable tweaks of people's free will are increasingly just, making her teammates into her little robots. And Nene kind of has that very, not bitchy, but definitely over-assertive way where she has a good heart, but she doesn't have any real tact. And so, Tsubasa definitely getting a lot more fearless and generally, kind of corrupted by her power. Basically tells Nene to hit the road. And it seems like one of the other of her teammates she has confided on about the power, which I definitely think is going to come up later on. I mean, later on in the chapter she tries to have a little rebellion, but I feel like if she's sticking with Tsubasa this long, even knowing that she's using the power, I think that they're actually better friends than she would initially assume. I think that even though she knows she's kind of being controlled, she sees Tsubasa as being more, assertive. So I think that she's going to kind of be one of the major keys to Tsubasa's recovery, but that is for later. Right now, basically she tells Nene, to go, that she really needs to keep winning games, and when Nene won't take no for an answer, she basically says to go jump in a lake. And that only makes Nene, grind her heels into the ground like she was a glitter boy about to shoot her boom gun. Because the next day she comes back and Tsubasa can tell, alright, she ain't going to give up, and she's kind of spooking everybody out. So she just catches Nene off guard and uses her power on her. And her one friend that she confided on is like, whoa, that was a bad idea. She's a member of the student council. And they are crazy powerful. They're like the one group that we didn't want to piss off. I mean, I was worried the last time you got taken in, but, seemed to be working out. But if you're going to clash heads, things are going to be problems. And, of course, Miyamura, being the president, has her come in the next day and is like, undo that stuff you did to Tsubasa. We were letting you go. And I was like, willing to overlook it, but not anymore. Although, it does start with an amusing thing where he's trying to wear one of those, cold masks, the masks that cover your nose and face so she can't kiss him. And then when it just becomes too dusty and bothers him. He's like, fudge this, student council tried and tested defense mechanism. He's like, just forget it. I don't care. And he's like, undo this power. And once again, we can see Tsubasa getting more cocky, more, just high on her power. He's like, I'm not as scared of you. And if you mess with me, I'll just kiss you too. And you'll be under my command. So don't mess with me. Don't fudge with this. And we just see him slam the desk like he was mad delinquent. And Yamada's like, whoa. And Tsubasa's just like, come on, bring it. I got a power. You just got, you think you got power. I got the real deal. You say a lot, but I'm out of here. I don't fear nothing. And then, once again, Yamada's like, oh, it's probably like his act. He's just, laying down the law. But Miyamura kind of extremely casually is just like, nah, man. No, that was for real. I don't like it when people mess with my friends. But it's very his character to be so flippant about, nah, man. I was just ready to beat that girl down and then just crush her club. She's just lucky I didn't. But I was tempted. And you're like, whoa, you said that just with such a casual, smile on your face. But, it's kind of creepy, but it's kind of cool at the same time. But, he didn't. But you can tell that he really, as much as he seems kind of aloof and uncaring, he does actually, really care about his friends. And when you mess with one of them, you mess with him just as much. But Yamada, as much as he is the delinquent, is usually the guy with the more correct soft touch. And he swings by Tsubasa, and Tsubasa basically gives him the same swagger that she gave Miyamura. Like, I'm not afraid of you. You can threaten me all you want. I got juice, you got nothing. And Yamada's like, I ain't here to threaten you. I'm just here to warn you. Look at yourself in the mirror. The number of games you win, and the student council president crushing your team. That ain't important. This thing is destroying you. And we see that basically she's been covering up that, the power has actually been draining her. And, she basically opens up that, she knows that it's, wrecking her, both emotionally and physically. But, she's just got to win. And the only way that they can win is if she uses the power. And she mentions that, basically, when she started as the captain, they just needed to pick someone, and she was the most eager to please and kind of the most milk and toast. And so they put her in charge, but nobody really ever listened to her, and they kind of undermined her and talked behind her back. And every time they lost, they blamed it all on her, but every time she wanted to do stuff, they just blew her off to the point where she wants to have a strategy meeting and nobody just shows up. And she just feels like nobody can connect with her. And then she accidentally finds out she has the power. And it's like she got everything she wanted. And, it was really addicting. And Yamada's like, well, just give it up, man. And she's like, nah, man, I love basketball too much. I'm like from a slam dunk character. It's in my soul. And Yamada's like, well, you just gotta stop. And she's like, I don't know how. I just can't quit you, submission power. And she's like, well, and Yamada's like, well, you just gotta kiss me. So, I guess my end thoughts. I think we're kind of kind of what I speculated in the last chapter, that the original sets of power all fed a need. Everybody had some major problem in their life, and the power they had was a tool to recovery. Didn't instantly solve what their problem was, but it helped them deal with the problem that they had. And, it wasn't intuitive. Obviously, Yamada had to get involved and teach them how to use their power to get over whatever their major problem was. But the tools were there. The new powers are kind of like a monkey's paw. They perfectly solve whatever you want, but in the worst possible way. And they're kind of like the dark magic versions. Like, sure, you get exactly what you wanted, but it destroys you in the end. Then obviously, now the mousy girl who nobody listened to, now everybody has to listen to her. But she doesn't actually have any tools to better deal with people. She just has this cheat, and this cheat that's destroying her. And so, once again, I think that girl on the team is really the key. And the fact that even though she knows she's being controlled, she was still kind of going along with it up until, Tsubasa was obviously destroying herself in like ways that she couldn't ignore. But I think that she actually kind of developed a friendship with that girl, and someone who was actually listening to her and would have listened to her even if she wasn't using the power. And I think hopefully Yamada will figure that out, and that, basically if they work together, they can get the rest of the girls on the team, to listen to Tsubasa and actually follow her as like a real leader, and not, this ignored leader as she started out as, or as this, magical dictator that she's become. But I'm guessing that all of the new powers basically give you exactly what you want, but in the worst possible way. And probably are also draining, the people using them. So I'm thinking that's going to be the general formula. I'm just wondering if she's going to kiss him, or if he's going to have to... I'm thinking she's only going to kiss him at the end. I think he's going to have to figure out a way to, basically get her, friendship with the team, once again using the other girl that she's, confessed using her power to. And then maybe at the end, he'll get the kiss. But I'm wondering if the president is going to allow him to use that power. Because, although him kissing them will give them the shield, if Yamada-kun kisses the rest of the student council, then he can control them. Although that might, lead to, a funny chapter or two before he has to stop it. But, I'm wondering, that does have good comedic potential. Basically, Yamada-kun being like, Miyamura, now you have to serve me. And hey, Nene, you have to be nice to me. And, everybody else, you gotta go buy me snacks for nothing. Yamada-kun. Maybe Sarashi will this is totally not gonna work. I love you, Yamada, but no. But yeah, I'm curious. I mean, once again, we might just have the kiss, and then Yamada sticks around to, basically teach her how to function without the power. But I'm guessing we're only going to really get that resolve at the end of the arc. But we shall see. Still, looking forward to seeing how this all turns out. Which of my predictions are right, which are wrong. And, here's hoping for another 100 excellent chapters. Alright, see you guys next time.